Maybe I play some arena with Blackjack today. I'm thinking, Stucky, thank you. Let me ping him. When horror Minecraft again? People are recommending me this mod called Broken Script, and I'm thinking about playing it. It looks silly though. Anyone play that mod called the Broken Script for Minecraft and can give me a rating? The slow burn, so it's RNG if you get touched night free or if nothing happens for 20 hours. That's okay, we just add Herobrine, and Herobrine can fucking keep me entertained for 20 hours. He didn't show up yesterday at all. Was this very important?
It's a prototype. Whoa. Oh no! Ah! Oh dear! Ah! 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 Fascinating. Are you sure you checked the eigen attenuators? It's inconclusive. Do you know who?
History of top lane? The floor is pretty good.
Hello. Oh. Oh my. Oh no.
It's 7 years old, bro. Whatever, let's watch it.
League has been getting progressively worse since 2000.
Oh no.
Let's be honest, 2015, I think.
I don't agree with that. I think League of Legends peaked in Season 11, and you can fight me.
For a couple months,
I think Season 9 and 11 were best League seasons ever.
top lane has been a discussion point for a lot of players, and for potentially a pretty good reason.
I think mythic items were such a fun thing, and all the characters in Season 11 were so fun to play.
It feels like some of the most historic and fun top lane champions have no longer become viable and no longer have a place in the current meta. Whatever happened to bruisers and fun carry DPS top laners, picking things like mages, and you remember back in the day like Morgana and Kennen top, why is it just a tank versus a tank every single game? Well, is it? I mean, statistically and historically speaking, was top lane a better role back in the day? Or are people just viewing it and seeing it through nostalgia goggles?
Oh, they are looking through nostalgia goggles. We had some terrible top lane metas, bro. I remember, I think my least liked meta, after the current one, like I genuinely think the current top lane meta is the worst it has ever been. Yorick, Shen, what else? Gwen are absolute misery and fun. They are absolute misery and fun shit in like ever. Like they are like the one currently is like by far the worst.
Well, I spent the last 2 weeks researching top lane as best as I could, going back through old forum posts, old Reddit posts, watching VODs, going through old professional games, checking the statistics, going back all the way to 2010. And that is the exact question we are going to answer today. Over the years, top lane has become less and less about 1v1, and more about the enemy jungle pressure, dodging ganks, poking, farming, and just going even in lane. You hardly get a chance to play anything but tanks, right? Surely, the top lane meta is far less balanced and less fun than ever before, right? This is the history of top lane. In the beginning, for all lanes included, strategies were primitive compared to today. One thing that
God, the old league was so ugly.
must be established right away at the very beginning of this video is that player skill and understanding
And the fucking 240p video as well.
will be much better. As with anything, whether you want to talk about speedruns, League of
You just know the guy that recorded this used like some fucking old software. Like, you remember Fraps? Like this one? Does anyone remember this for fucking getting videos, bro? With that yellow FPS button? That's what most people used, or a Hypercam.
League of Legends, traditional sports, or technology, over time, people will improve. Think of it like this. In speedrunning, the popularity of the culture has gone up a lot, and the exposure that some of the speedrunners now get on their Twitch streams, YouTube videos, and events like AGDQ and SGDQ, the incentive to prove and the time that runners are putting into games these days has gone up massively over the last decade, causing the times of legendary game speedruns go much lower than what was ever imagined to be possible. This idea is no different to League of Legends or other online games, despite any changes that Riot will put in.
Bro, like, what is this character?
period
Like,
of
what is he
time,
playing? I'm trying to figure out from the low
Players
res
will
icon.
just get better and develop better strategies. They will also have a high level of
Like, is this Tariq? Is he playing Tariq? If he's playing Tariq, his inventory right now is a red pot. It's a red pot and 4 health potions. Amazing start, bro.
increasing game knowledge and understanding season to season, and in the very first parts of League's history, this is no exception. Top lane at the time was a role that generally had a few options, but it had less to do with the lane itself and more to do with your opponent and
AoE gold card, that would be healthy nowadays.
you. Players would often switch around what lanes they went purely based on matchups and the champions that they've picked. And because at the time there wasn't always a jungler, many times you would see 2-1-2 strategies with no jungler involved. Eventually though, some players would stand out above the rest. Arguably, somebody who stood out the most was Hotshot GG in his Nidalee top.
Oh my god, these creeps, dude. They're gonna kill me.
Oh my god, wait, that was for a fucking season 1 outplay?
GG, son.
Holy fuck, hotshot in chat! People used to like type this shit on chat whenever you would make like an insane play. Now they just spamping you.
If you
Honestly, I
watch
like
through
spamping
Hotshot's
more.
old VODs and streams, you can see even at the very beginning of League, he was a really good player, and he was very mechanically sound. He had strategies and counters for each lane.
Bro, I need a new account. This is like another 15-minute queue time
He
incoming.
would constantly talk about his
Palsy,
builds and
thank
what
you.
he can do to win this specific lane that he was in. I wasn't around during this time, but I can only imagine just how impressive it must have been to watch him play live. And for a while, this is kinda how top lane was. You either pick something pretty tanky, somebody who could poke such as Teemo or Nidalee, or you played AP carries such as Morgana or Annie top lane. It was a relatively diverse role if you consider that it was mostly AP or ranged champions. In fact,
Ranged champions. That should be always the meta on top lane. It's a disgusting
According
range
to-
every... Queen is #1 win rate right now. I gotta play Queen.
a forum post by Pistallion, the Season 1 World Championship had a lot of the NA teams coming with the strategy that most teams had at the time, doing an AD carry mid lane and an AP mage top lane. But in the background, slowly kind of creeping up without
Ask Baus for build tips. Yeah, the Baus, bro. I
many
need his
people
builds.
noticing, was the sustain meta. Let's start with the Yorick patch in June of 2011. He is released as a champion many people didn't know where he was supposed to go. But then, because of his sustain, people started taking him top lane. This champion was incredibly frustrating to play against, and his sustain was basically unmatched. He could duel you no problem, and he constantly was able to push the
Bro,
wave.
wait, what the fuck?
Basically unmatched. He could duel you no
He got so much XP for that kill. He almost got a full level.
problem, and he constantly was able to push the wave, and as soon as you got a couple mana items, you basically were unkillable in a 1v1. Then, if you consider Skarner a champion designed for the
Have you seen the Baus item tier list? I need to see that. Let's look. Kaeni Krukern in C. Static Sheep Kaeni Krukern in C tier, by the way. One of the most broken items in the game. Force of Nature as well, best MR item in the game. Like Kaeni Krukern and Force of Nature in C tier, like, yeah, instantly I'm not listening to this. I'm seeing Liandre as well in C tier, lol, that's funny. Eclipse in C tier, yeah, for sure, bro. Stride Breaker in C. What the fuck is Banshee doing in S? Banshee's like such a trash item. A Death's Dance isn't S either, like, Storm Surge S. Okay, I'm turning this off, bro. Go back.
jungle who had sustain. He was also a part of this big sustain meta. Then, we saw the release of Riven. Riven overall was a pretty good example of a champion that Riot released who desperately tried to fit in the meta. Riven definitely seemed to be a solo laner and had a bruiser type ability set, but she really didn't have a lot of sustain in her kit. So exactly what you might consider, Riot gave her
What
a
the
bunch
fuck is a Cho'Gath
in
knockup? Why does he
her
go
kit.
so high?
So exactly
Like, what the fuck, bro?
what you might consider,
Vladimir
Riot
Space
gave her
Program.
a bunch of health regen per second and per level. At the time, Riven had the single highest health regen of any champion by a large amount. her base health regen was 12, and eventually after a few patches it was nerfed to 10, which is still a lot of health regen. You can even find older videos of Dyrus and Stonewall making Jungle Riven work very well. As long as you bought a little bit of sustain, the ganks were good, your health regen was good, and you could clear pretty well. Eventually, this meant that the meta of sustain was almost impossible to deal with, and the pros picked up on this in other lanes. You saw Soraka, Sona, and Janna be incredibly popular in the Season 1 World Championship.
Question about Nyla. Why is she so high win rate but low presence? I'm asking because Riot apparently wants to nerf her next patch, because Nyla is one of the most brutal counter picks in the game. If she gets a good lane matchup, she has good support versus not so good bot lane. If she gets ahead, she gets way more, like, not only she will be ahead in XP from kills, but she will also be super ahead from just her passive. Not to mention her tower taking is great, so she can take a lot of plays, and her scaling is beyond cracked. It's one of the hardest AD carries to shut down late game.
And back when Dyrus played on Epic Gamer, you saw him playing a lot of Singed. Basically, you pick things that healed their way to victory, and even though we wouldn't see bruisers become incredibly popular yet, we can still see their very early beginnings. This time frame is important to our story, because at the time, Riot needed to give melee champions sustain. This meta was heavily revolved around range versus melee, and if you were not able to sustain your way through the laning phase due to often playing against mage top laners, you were essentially thought to be worthless. In the end, 2 European teams would go on to play in the grand finals for the Season 1 World Championship, with Fnatic winning it all. And for the time, it seemed like there were essentially 2 top lane options. And just when a lot of people started to think that the AP top lane versus sustain meta was the set in stone meta for top lane, Season 2 happened.
Kind of funny thing, like this was a
Started
studio for World Championship. There is like what, probably like 100 people at best in that entire like arena, and now you go to the fucking like you go to this shit, bro. Look at the fucking crowd, going from that humble little office or whatever with 100 people to, yeah, a couple of fucking thousand.
think that the AP top lane versus sustain meta was the set in stone meta for top lane.
Kinda
Season
crazy
2
to see
happened.
how much esports has grown since like early years.
A very long time ago, on October 19th of 2010, we saw a buff / change to Warmogs on version 1.0.0.103. It was given some buffs to its base stats, as well as some nice quality of life by lowering the combined cost.
Permanently gain 4.5 health and 0.15 health regeneration per 5 seconds per minion kill. Champions kills and assists grant 45 health and 1.5 health regeneration per 5 seconds. Bonuses cap at 450 health and 15 health regen per 5.
But the most
That's
important
crazy.
thing is that the passive was changed and reworked slightly. At the time, Warmog's passive was changed to give permanent 4.5 HP and 0.15 health regen per 5 seconds.
OG
per
hard
minion
steal,
kill.
yeah.
Champion kills and assists grant 45 health and 1.5 health regen per 5 seconds. Bonuses cap at 450 health and plus 15 health regen per 5. And this was massive. This meant that stacking this item up gave you a ton of HP. And eventually,
Old
once we
Volley and
finally got
Evelyn,
towards
ew.
Season 2, we saw the rise of a new build, the Atmogs.
Free K health used to be considered a lot, lol. That's what Sion has on one item nowadays. Power creep is crazy. Oh my, what is this build? 5 D-Blades, bro. Now those fights are so funny to look now. Everyone's standing still, I can't.
Atmogs is a combined term
Simpler
between
times, man.
Atmos, Impaler, and Warmog's armor. 2 items that were very strong at the time. Warmog still
Pro players back then standing still, not moving their characters, and nowadays you get fucking Gold Vein kiting like Prime Gosu, bro.
exists in the game, but Atmos is no longer available. Atmos Impaler at the time was an item that gave you 45 armor and 18% critical strike chance, as well as a passive making it that you gained attack damage equal to 1.5% of your maximum health. This meant that the combo of building an Atma's Impaler, which was a relatively cheap item, always costing anywhere between 2,300 and 2,600 gold, as well as building a Warmogs, gave you armor, HP, critical strike chance, and attack.
What the fuck? 8k health. Okay, that's a bit too much.
Damage. This ended up meaning that a lot of champions were very tanky and very hard to kill, while also dealing a lot of damage and having crit chance. It was the meta golem
Which season you started playing? I started playing in season 3.
of top lane. Every top laner had the chance to become a bruiser simply by building Atma's Impaler and Warmogs. It was the core of what made bruisers good. Both items were very strong and synergized a massive amount due to the damage and tankiness that you would get. If you also combine this with a Trinity Force, these champions would become nearly unkillable. Frozen Mallet could also be built so it could have a place along with Warmogs, making you incredibly sticky on your opponents. And it also so happened that champions that Riot released that year, such as Darius and Jace, fit in
To make an champion ultimate tier list, Aatrox, S, Ari... Akali S, Akshan A, Alistar is Omega broken, Ambessa is like fine but requires setup, Amumu like S, Anivia is good for the character, Tibers is like A, this is Aphelios, kinda trash nowadays, Crystal Arrow legit game changing ultimate, the amount of games it wins by itself. This is Aurelion's ult, right? This one is legit useless. And it's like A. Aurora ult, it used to be LOL but it got nerfed now, it's not as broken. Aurora and Azir are S, very good ultimates. Bard one can grief your team and enemy team, so it's really situational. Velvet ult is Omega broken, I'm just reading it as her form. Blitzcrank ult is just fucking like fine, it's just a nuke. Brand ult is fine for the champion. I feel like Braum ult is not that good, I would say like C tier. Oh, my favorite one. Put it there. Caitlyn one, like Caitlyn ult is so bad. Like you use Caitlyn ult to force a fucking to force a first strike or poke. Not that good. Camille ult is really good. Cassie ult is not that great. I would say B tier. Cho'Gath ult is like A, pretty strong. Corki ult is useless basically. Darius ult is really strong, but really conditional as well. This is Diana ult, it's like B. Mundo ult is the strongest part of his kit. Draven ult, a shitty global, not that much damage. Echo ult is like legit Omega broken, but it's on Echo, so I'm not gonna rate like Elise ult, like there's no point. Evelyn ult is so fucking stupid. Evelyn ult is so fucking stupid. Evelyn ult is beyond fucking stupid, man. Insane execute with instant safety dash, yeah. Ezreal ult is like C tier, you can use it for the wave clear, that's about it. Crowstorm is Omega game changing and very easy to set up. Fiora ult, for the purpose of the character, is Omega good. Almost LOL tier, not gonna lie. Fizz ult is trash, absolute garbage, so slow, so hard to set up. You never get the Megalodon, you kinda need to QR through a minion and then hope and you get like the small or the medium fish at best. Galio ult, the sole reason why they picked this character basically. GP ult, like one of the strongest ults in the game, so game changing its ult is. It's on such a high cooldown for a reason, especially if you get like the upgrades, it's such a game changer ult. Insane slow, insane damage, can turn around so many fights. It's instant global ultimate, like legit, boom, instant. Garen ult, I mean it's Garen ult, it's fucking strong, it's a bit nerfed now.
into this meta very well. Jace was hard to gank and traded in lane
Damn right, bro.
extremely well, and for the time, Darius's ultimate was unmatched. It was easily one of the most powerful ultimates in the game. Sustain was dead, and champions like Udyr top lane completely fell off the map and out of top lane, and champions like Jax, Olaf, Darius, Jace, and Aurelia had a great time dueling other champions. The meta and the mentality had completely changed. Instead of worrying about having sustain so you could trade blow for blow back and
Oh, I was doing the tier list, right. Let me finish that shit off. Gnar ult, super situational because like You need, like, first of all, you need Mega Gnar, and then second of all, you need, like, perfect timer. Gragas ult is S. Old, reliable, fucking fling someone, has 0 cooldown, very impactful. Graves ult might as well not be there, bro. Almost 0 impact in 90% of instances. Gwen ult, very strong. Lots of AoEs, procs her passive a lot. I would rate, like, I think I'm gonna give it A, because the slow is not that great, so it doesn't make her as sticky. It's more like the E cooldown. Keka ult, A, not much to say. Donger ult, very impactful, especially the grenade. Or the, like, ability to, like, kill Nashor really quick with upgraded turret. Quay ult pretty strong with his skill, but honestly, it's not that remarkable. Illaoi ult, I mean, this character is nothing without this ability. Irelia ult, like, A tier, good for team fights and resetting, but you're mostly 1v1 anyway, so you're just using it versus one person or versus two. Daisy, insanely strong, deals good damage, and the knockups she provides are so strong. Janna ult, very specific, has 2 use cases, sustaining and disengage, not that strong. This is Jarvan ult, right? Yeah, I mean, it shapes pro play meta often, but like, it used to be a LOL, but now it's just like, not as strong, because of how many people can just escape out of it. I have no idea whose ult is this, next to Jade's hammers. Who is this? Is this Yunara? It's Jax. Pretty good. A lot of people don't really appreciate the passive part of this ultimate, like the auto attack and power. Like, that makes Jax so strong, especially on lane, because he can auto minion twice, jump onto you, W, and then just like you take like 300 magic damage. Jhin ult, really strong, area denial, finishing off squishies, forces you to play a dodging minigame, making you not just run in a straight line. Jinx ult, not that great, one of the better damage globals, but those are generally not that strong, not that remarkable. K'Sante ult. Yeah, K'Sante ult, you already know. K'Sante ultimate, like, such a crazy ult. The fact you can isolate a target so easily, it's absolutely insane. Okay, I wanna go back to slop content. I don't wanna yap about ultimates for now.